स्टैटिस्टिकल मशीन लर्निंग हम कब यूज़ करते हैं, जब हमारे पास जो भी ट्रेनिंग डेटा आ रहा है, इफ़ दैट ट्रेनिंग डेटा is structural training data. Okay, so if the training data that we are receiving is structural training data, that means if it is in a tabular format or something like that, that means if it is completely structured, in that case we use statistical machine learning. But जब हमारे पास ट्रेनिंग डेटा अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्मेट में आ रहा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट कुड बी text, it could be images, audios, videos, anything. Okay, so in those cases we use deep learning, because obviously images, audio, video, you can imagine that images में सिर्फ एक कोई डायमेंशन नहीं होता, दो डायमेंशंस नहीं होते, there are so many dimensions, there are so many things. In that case statistical machine learning doesn't work, so there we have to use deep learning. All right, also in statistical machine learning we use algorithms, right? We use algorithms to deal with everything, but in deep learning we have, just like how we had algorithms in the statistical machine learning, here in deep learning we have neural networks. Okay, so neural networks is the main thing in the deep learning. So just like how we had in statistical machine learning, we had linear regression, we had clustering, so many algorithms, right? So just like that, here we have lots of neural networks, like there is convolutional neural network, and there is transformers. Transformer is a very famous example, I guess, because this is the technology that we are using in ChatGPT, Gemini, and all of these. All right, so yeah, next point which you should note is, it is statistical machine learning is used to deal with simple features. Okay, like here, as I said, right, like we are getting data in tabular format, so these are simple features, right, where you are receiving data structured and everything is simple to learn, right? But when we have complex features, in that case deep learning. All right, we have to use deep learning in that case. Next point, yeah, in statistical machine learning, the training data that we have to provide to the machine could be small. It will work great with that. But in deep learning, you have to provide huge amount of training data for the machine to learn things. Okay, people do prefer statistical machine learning sometimes over deep learning on the basis of interpretability. So sometimes we need to know how the output has came, right, how it has been interpreted by machine, we need to know. All right, so in that case, where we need the interpretation that yeah, this is how the output has been generated, in that case we need statistical machine learning. But yeah, if interpretability is not required, then you can go for deep learning, so whatever the requirement is. So yeah, there is no as such some hard and fast rule when to use statistical machine learning or when to use deep learning. It simply depends on what you need, your requirements. All right, here we can take example of face unlock in your phone, right? So we'll take two examples. First, let's say this example where we are unlocking our phone with our face, right? So in that case, which technology would you prefer, deep learning or statistical machine learning, which one? So for face unlock, deep learning is way better than statistical machine learning. Deep learning plays the most important role to actually recognize the face. Okay, so for example, if we had to make a simple emotion detector, like whether the person is sad or happy or upset, in that case we can use statistical machine learning, because वहाँ पर we had structural data, right, that yeah, the person is happy, the person is sad, right, we know how the patterns will be exactly, we know the structure, right? So in that case we can use statistical machine learning. So emotion detector, simple emotion detector के लिए statistical machine learning was sufficient enough, but for face unlock, statistical machine learning cannot really work. So that's where we need deep learning, because like फेस में क्या होता है, आईज नोज लिप्स, ये फीचर्स एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग में होते हैं, राइट? सो हाउ डू वी एग्जैक्टली रिकॉग्नाइज दैट या दिस इज द पर्सन? सो उसके लिए डीप लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स यूज़ करेंगे. सो डीप लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स क्या करता है, वो चीज़ों को बहुत डीप में स्टडी करता है, कैलकुलेशंस परफॉर्म करता है. लॉट ऑफ कैलकुलेशन विल बी परफॉर्म्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड हु द पर्सन इज. Okay, so that is the reason why we use deep learning for the face unlock feature in our phone. Next example you can take here as we have, let's say, apple and orange. Now if we have to make a machine learn how apple and orange looks, so that later it can identify whether the given fruit is apple or orange, right? So to identify the fruit, we will give the images of apple and oranges, a lot of apples and a lot of oranges. So what must statistical machine learning will do, it will simply like work on structural data, like it will see the size of the fruit, it will see the color of the fruit or the shape of the fruit, right? Like, yeah, the apple is having this size, color is red, shape is this, right? And orange is having whatever size, and then color is orange, and then shape is almost circle. So it is working on a structural data, right? So in case mein we can use statistical machine learning, but yeah, that's how it will work. It will like use a certain features to identify which fruit it is. But in some cases where let's say एप्पल का शेप थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है, वो एक्जैक्टली ऐसा नहीं है, थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है, या कलर थोड़ा सा फेडेड है, लाइक इट्स अ बिट येलोइश और इट्स अ बिट ग्रीनिश, सो वहाँ पर योर मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम मे गेट कन्फ्यूज्ड, राइट, कि वो एप्पल है ऑरेंज है, राइट? सिमिलरली सेम कैन हैपन विद ऑरेंज, उसका साइज, उसका कलर, शेप थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट हो सकता है, राइट? So that's when deep learning shines. All right. When statistical machine learning fails, deep learning shines. So how deep learning works? It will actually use a lot of images of apple and of orange. Okay. And it will learn things in detail. Okay. In depth. So that it can identify which fruit it is, no matter whether the fruit looks exactly same as how it should be, or if it is different from how it should be. Okay. So yeah, स्टैटिस्टिकल मशीन लर्निंग सिंपली वर्क करता है कुछ स्ट्रक्चरल डेटा को लेकर, बट डीप लर्निंग विल वर्क ऑन अ अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा and it will go in detail so that it can give you the correct output, okay, at the end. So yeah, that's how it's different from statistical machine learning. Deep learning के through we can make our systems or our machine learn things that normal machine learning algorithms, statistical machine learning algorithm cannot do. Okay, because डीप लर्निंग के थ्रू कॉम्प्लेक्स फीचर्स को भी एक्सट्रैक्ट करना इजी हो जाता है. तो जो चीज़ें हम नॉर्मल जो मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम जो हमने सारी पिछली वीडियो में पढ़े हुए थे, वो अगर उन सारे एल्गोरिथम से जो काम नहीं हो रहा है, दैट्स वेयर डीप लर्निंग कम्स. डीप लर्निंग से हम वो काम भी कर सकते हैं. ऑलराइट.